Hi everybody, welcome to Muscoot Farm. My name is Jonathan Benjamin and happy National Spaghetti Day. Today is National Spaghetti Day, so we have a story about spaghetti and we're actually going to make our very own spaghetti sauce. So stick around after the video for that, but for now we are going to read Spaghetti in a Hot Dog Bun, Having the Courage to Be Who You Are, and it's by Maria Dismondy and illustrations by Kim Shaw. The delicious smell of breakfast filled the air as Lucy's grandpa handed her a plate. Lucy smeared ketchup on her toast. She turned to her grandpa and said, "Papagino, Harriet said she's never heard of ketchup on toast. Her family uses butter and jelly." "It's okay. Not everyone likes the same thing, Lucy. It doesn't mean one person is right or wrong. We're all different. What a boring world it would be if we were all exactly alike." "Do you remember what's really important?" Papagino asked. "Yes, Papa. Even if we are different from others on the outside, we all have a heart with feelings on the inside." "That's my girl. Remember, when you treat others with love and kindness, you are doing the right thing," Papagino said. On the school bus, Lucy and her friend Harriet pulled out some paper and crayons. Sitting across from them was Ralph. As usual, Ralph sat alone, staring out the window. He looked over at them and rolled his eyes. In the classroom, Lucy sat down near the teacher. Ralph carelessly hurried over and tripped on Lucy's foot. Before long, he was glaring at her. Ralph whispered, "Wolf, I can't see the book with this poodle in front of me." Lucy could hear him giggling behind her. "Oh no, why did it have to be me?" she wondered. During lunch, Harriet shouted one of her silly jokes over the other children's voices. As the girls ate, their bellies shook with laughter. Across the table, Ralph hollered, "Yuck! That's the disgusting smell. Who ever heard of eating spaghetti in a hot dog bun?" Tony and the other children at the table turned away from Ralph, shaking their heads. Ralph continued, "Poor little Lucy with her hair so poofy." Tears filled Lucy's eyes and she began to cry. On the way home, Lucy thought about what happened. Maybe Ralph is mean to me because he thinks being different is bad. I wish he would stop teasing me. Slowly, Lucy stepped off the bus. "How was your day?" Papagino asked. "Fine," she mumbled. Papa reached over and pulled a crayon out of her hair. "How did this happen?" he asked. Lucy didn't say a word. That night, as Papagino tucked Lucy into bed, she asked, "Is everything all right at school?" He asked, "Is everything all right at school?" Lucy rolled over. He sat down and whispered, "Always remember, if something's not right, we can work on fixing it together." "It's not that easy, thought Lucy. How do I stop Ralph from teasing me? How can he have a heart and be so mean?" Lucy had a hard time falling asleep, worrying about what would happen tomorrow. The following day, Lucy was surprised to find Ralph leaving her alone, until Lucy took the bag Ralph handed her. Inside were dog bones with a note that read, "Lucy, Lucy, eat stinky food that puts us in a big, bad mood. Lucy, Lucy, hair shaped like a cone, here's a treat for you, a yummy dog bone." The beating of Lucy's heart was so loud she knew everyone around her could hear it. "Stop! It hurts my feelings when you do this, Ralph," Lucy said. "Please stop." Ralph turned and walked away. It was recess time and Lucy played alone. She didn't want to tell her teacher about Ralph. She was afraid of being a tattletale. Lucy wished Papagino was there to help. What should I do? She asked herself over and over. The bell rang as recess ended. "Help!" cried a child off in the distance. Tony yelled, "Ralph got himself stuck in the top of the monkey bars. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen." "This is my chance. I'll go tell Ralph how mean he really is. M-E-A-N, mean." Lucy stomped off toward the monkey bars. When she reached Ralph, Lucy paused. She looked him in the eye and said, "What you did was so mean." Standing before Ralph, Lucy could hear her papa's words. Ralph did have a heart with feelings. In that moment, Lucy decided what she would do. She saw tears in Ralph's eyes. He hesitated to move and whispered, "I'm scared." Lucy reached out and said, "Here, take my hand," and she helped him down. The two walked back to the classroom without saying a word. As the bus pulled up to Lucy's stop, Ralph reached over and handed her a picture. Lucy was amazed by what she saw. "Thanks," she muttered softly. After she got off the bus, Lucy smiled and said, "Papa, there's this boy Ralph who was really mean to me. Today, he was in trouble, and I helped him." Papa Gino hugged Lucy and replied, "That took a lot of courage. It wasn't the easiest thing to do. You choose to treat others the way you want to be treated. I'm so proud of you, Lucy." As they walked home, she asked him what was for dinner. When Papa Gino said spaghetti, Lucy knew immediately what she would have for lunch the next day. Her favorite sandwich, spaghetti in a hot dog bun. So thanks so much for listening, and let's make some spaghetti. Welcome everybody to Must Food Farm. I'm Jonathan, and happy National Spaghetti Day. Today we're going to be making our very own spaghetti sauce, as well as some pasta to go with our spaghetti on a hot dog bun. So it's a fairly simple recipe, and most of you probably have this stuff lying around the house. And what you're gonna need is some spaghetti noodles. You're gonna need some canned tomatoes. These are peeled tomatoes, 28 ounces peeled tomatoes, and then 28 ounces crushed tomatoes. You're gonna need salt and pepper just to taste. You're gonna need an onion. You're gonna need some garlic, some olive oil, and this is optional, chili flakes. So let's get started. So what you need is a small to medium yellow onion, and you need to chop that. So we're gonna start chopping, and be sure that you have an adult watching you while you do this, because chopping can be dangerous. All right, so we also want to add 2 cloves of garlic, and so we're just gonna kind of roughly chop these. This is gonna be what we like to call a rustic sauce, which just means basically you don't have to use all those fancy tools or anything like that. We just want it to taste good. We don't really care what it looks like. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil to the bottom of our pan. Get it coated. And again, it's just over medium heat. You don't want this to burn. So we're going to add our onions in, and we want them to cook for just a little bit, just until they start to become translucent or clear. All right, so we've been cooking this for about 4 to 5 minutes, and now we're gonna add in the garlic. So in the garlic, what you want for the garlic is you really just want it to get a little brown on the edges. You don't want it to fully get too dark because you don't want it to burn. So one of the things that we want to do is add the tomatoes, but since these are whole tomatoes, we want to kind of crush them, break them down a little bit. So we open this can up, and here we go. If you want to have some fun, you can get in there with your hands and just kind of crush them yourself. I'll just use the potato masher, which will do just fine for us. So you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to go crazy with this. Just kind of break it down a little bit. And then after we've done that, we can add our other can of tomatoes, which are already crushed. So I'll do that right now. All right, now we have our onion and our garlic. They're ready. and we need to add some more friends to the party. And so we are going to add our tomatoes. All right, so now we have our tomato in here, and what's gonna happen is we're gonna let this simmer for between 25 and 40 minutes. And during that time, it's gonna develop a lot of flavors. If you taste it during the process and it's a little too acidic, that means you wanna kind of leave it on for just a little bit longer because it's still breaking down and making those sugars. At this point also, we can add a few things. This is all up to you. You can add fresh herbs, some basil, oregano. I wanted to put a little red chili flakes in there, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a couple sprinkles in there. And then it's always good to put some salt and pepper. So you just kind of eyeball this. It's up to you. If you like a lot of salt, if you like a lot of pepper, that is up to you. So a couple of turns of fresh ground pepper, and we'll leave this alone and come back in about 25 to 40 minutes. So just like in the book Spaghetti on a Hot Dog Bun, I've never had it before, but it sounded good to me. So we have some hot dog buns here, and I realized that if we just put spaghetti on a hot dog bun, it would probably get too soggy. So what we're gonna do is put these in a toaster oven, and you can also do this in the oven if you want. You just want this inside to get toasted enough that it can hold that spaghetti without just getting really soggy. So we have our buns, we're gonna put them in the toaster, and we'll be ready. So we now are getting close with our sauce being done, so we need to put some water on the boil. We have water and some salt, and we're gonna bring this up to a boil. Once we get there, we will add our pasta. Our pasta sauce is just about done, so we need to make our pasta. So I never know how much, probably always too much. So I just grab some pasta. And our water's been boiling, so we're gonna put it in. So we have our pasta in here. Once it starts to kind of cook a second, then you can push it in there. One thing I'll say is that at this point, it's a good idea to probably test your sauce. So you wanna taste it to see if it needs any salt or pepper or anything like that. And a good lesson is that you can always add something, but you can never take anything out. So you want to make sure that you don't put too much salt or too much pepper, so that's why it's a good time to check. So we're almost there. All right, so we just finished cooking our pasta, and what I like to do is take a little of our sauce here and put it into our pasta. I like to just add some more sauce just to coat it. But just like the book says, you can, when you make this, you can do it however you want. So now it's time to plate. So get some more sauce. Okay. And now grab my hot dog bun that's been toasted. And let's come over here and let's see what all of the fuss is about. So, since I'm an amateur to eating spaghetti on a hot dog bun, I'm gonna just a little bit there. Okay, here goes something. That's really good. I'm glad I got that suggestion. I hope you enjoyed making sauce with us and reading Spaghetti on a Hot Dog Bun, and we hope to see you soon.